Hi, we're going to start lesson 8.4 today, which is about volume, in particular, the volume of rectangular prisms. So you're going to want to have your notebook and open to your notes section and title your lesson. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do so you can get everything that you need. The first thing we're going to start with is what is volume. You guys have probably talked about volume before in previous grades, but I just want to refresh your memories and get a definition down with you so you fully understand it. Volume, I've been talking about a lot lately because I'm putting in a swimming pool here at my house in a week or so, and we're talking about how much water the pool can hold. Volume is the amount of space that a shape occupies. All right, so we'll go ahead and record that definition now. Volume is the amount of space that a shape occupies. Since we're going to talk specifically about rectangular prisms today, I'm going to show you real quick how to draw one. So to draw a rectangular prism, now some of you may have learned other ways, but this is an easy way I've found. What you're going to do first is go ahead and draw two rectangular bases, two rectangles that are exactly the same as each other. And if you notice, I put mine a little bit diagonal from each other. So go ahead and do that. Do your best. If you need to use the lines on your paper to help you to make the sizing the same, but keeping those sizes the same is key for doing this. After you draw the two rectangular bases, what you're going to do is go ahead and connect what are called the vertices. Those are the corners. So if you notice with the blue lines, I've connected the top left to the top left of the other rectangle, and then the bottom left to the bottom left of the other rectangle, and so on. So each corner connects with the opposite corner. You can kind of see the box in the way it's forming. Sometimes I'll just stop with this because I think that picture is adequate for me. But if you want to go one step further, you can change any of the hidden lines, the ones that you wouldn't normally see, into dashed lines. So this is how you're going to draw a rectangular prism. And we're going to need one of those as we start our next example. What we're going to do is we're going to find the volume of these rectangular prisms. So I already have one here, and if you notice, I have the three measurements already labeled on the picture. Those are going to be important for you to go ahead and label. So if you draw your own, go ahead and make sure you label the length, which is down here in the front, the width, how far back it goes, and the height, how tall that rectangular prism is. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to. To find the volume, we're going to use a new formula. This one would have been on my wall if we were at school. You take the length times the width times the height. Volume is measured in cubic units. Another way you could find the volume is if you took cubes and stacked them all the way up to the top and filled this entire prism with cubes and then counted them all. But that gets to be a little tedious. So using the formula is a lot nicer. So what we're going to do, similar to when we found area of shapes, we're going to use the formula and we're going to do 3 lines of work. So the first line, you're going to go ahead and write the formula. Volume equals length times width times height. If you remember when we did area, our second line of work was where we would use substitution to replace the letters with the appropriate numbers. So our second line of work is going to look like this. I've replaced the length with 7/8 from the bottom here. The width is 1/2. That was how far back it went. And how tall my shape is, the height, is 5/8. Now, if you remember when we would multiply fractions, we would do top times top, bottom times bottom. Multiplying fractions is no problem. You can look for canceling ahead of time. In this case, I do not see any numerators and denominators that match up for me to be able to cancel. So I'm just going to multiply straight across on the top. 7 times 1 times 5. And on the bottom, I'm going to do 8 times 2 times 8. And you can use a calculator or your agenda if you'd like. What you get when you multiply those across is the answer. The volume is 35 and 128 meters cubed. So So we're going to practice using this formula for volume. It's really pretty simple to do, multiplying those three dimensions together. And today, you're going to do a Khan Academy lesson for me. You will need to score 70% or higher to get full credit. Otherwise, you can redo that lesson until you achieve that score so you can earn your full credit.